Hey y'all, it's September the 16th, 2016, and
And I thought we'd go ahead and do a real quick weekend review of what's been going on, certain things in the news. We could talk about real quick because I know it's about to be the weekend, and I hope that everybody out there is gonna have a nice weekend and relax and have some fun and stuff. But you want to get some news on Friday to carry you over the weekend until we get to Monday, and then we can really dive into some stuff and we can really talk about some stuff. Alright, so let's just mention some things real quick before we get on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Democrats, from what I'm seeing right here, they're picking Bernie Sanders, self-titled communist socialist person, as the Democratic backup, I guess, a backup for when and if and when Hillary falls out all the way over, and it's a matter of time. It looks like. Right. I do want to bring a note to this. I mean, a lot of people have saying a lot of different things about Hillary Clinton and her health. What kind of disease does she have? What's going to happen from here with her health? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different theories, and you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of different perspectives when it comes to this, and I've heard a whole bunch of them. The best I can tell is there's no telling what's going on with Hillary Clinton. First of all, chances are she doesn't have pneumonia. All right, but the thing is, there's no way of telling whether or not she does have pneumonia. If she does have pneumonia, she's cool giving it to little kids. All right, number one, but she may not even have it. In fact, she may not have. Well, here's the thing: everybody saw her get thrown into a van. Am I correct? Yeah, everybody did. Saw her get thrown into a van. She's all wobbled and collapsed, went completely limp, and was thrown into a van. Everybody saw that. But however, that in and of itself, that video right there, may in fact also be a hoax done by Hillary Clinton. All right, try and get that sympathy vote. Also, who knows what. All right, but the thing is, the video itself may not exactly be kosher in the way that all sort of people were not following protocol during this particular day where Hillary Clinton was falling out. Why were they not following protocol? That's what you got to wonder. All right, who was the one who stood down and didn't follow protocol as far as picking up Hillary? The car should be waiting for Hillary. All right, Hillary Clinton is going to run into the back of a car like a fugitive. All right, that is the protocol of what y'all do, the Secret Service and stuff. Instead, she's while waiting by the car, wobbly with her head all spinning around, and then they throw her in the back of the van when it finally gets there. See, that's not how things really go. And like I said, that video itself is kind of questionable in the way that it seemed to have the perfect angle. Very perfect, in fact, too perfect. Alright, but here's the thing, just real quick. So here's what we need to remember. Alright, Hillary Clinton may have any kind of disease under the sun right now. In fact, she probably has a lot of them. But regardless, she needs justice, all right? God is waiting for us to administer justice, all right? He's waiting for us to administer justice. He's given us every opportunity in the world to administer justice. And if we don't, well, dude, here's the thing about it. God's going to administer the justice upon Hillary Clinton, all right? Just like he's going to administer the justice upon everybody's head. All right, but see, her justice is going to spill out onto us, and we don't want that because she's got a lot of justice coming to her, right? And so we don't want to receive her justice because we did not give her the original justice. We need to give her justice regardless. I don't care how sick she is. It doesn't matter. She's sick in the head. Alright, but here's the thing about it. Alright, we're going to keep this real quick. Donald Trump stays spitting that hot fire, alright? He does. You can't deny that. I can't deny that. Alright, but this election, I mean, while it is very important that we administer justice to Hillary Clinton, regardless of who's elected, the election itself, it is more important, all right? We just need to keep reminding ourselves that it's made to seem more important than it actually is, all right? The election is important. There is justice that is going to be doled out either on Hillary Clinton or us as the nation, right? But at the same time, ain't nobody, including Michael Jordan, ain't nobody gonna slide into that presidential office. Nobody. Not anybody is going to slide into that presidential office and make America great again. All right, it's just not going to happen. If you happen to be like me, you live in America and you love that. You love living in America just because all the freedoms that, especially that we used to have, and you could just be yourself if you want to. If you love America, Right? You have to understand that it's not a single person be able to slide up in that presidential office and make America great again. Like we were just discussing, the wrath of God. The wrath of God's coming. Right? He doesn't like some stuff. He's going to administer justice, and lots of times he'll administer justice, on whole nations, whole entire nations. Right? So do you think? I mean, even if we balled up Hillary Clinton into a ball, threw her into a jail cell right now today, do you think that we're not going to still receive justice as a nation, as people? We're still going to receive it. And the reason is because it's not Hillary Clinton that's making everything all bad, terrible, and fall apart and everywhere. It's not just a Hillary Clinton. She doesn't have that much time in the day. It's all around us. It's not all around us like in that it's going to be like every person you know. Don't be paranoid like that. I don't think that that's necessary, but it is all around us. The reason I bring that up is I just heard about this ex-mayor. Here's a picture of him. See that? Alright, this ex-mayor, he's an ex-mayor of Hubbard, Ohio. I think he's been out of office for a couple years now. I'm not going to read his name. Alright, he has no name. Alright, but you see the picture of him. Alright, ex-mayor, we're talking about one city, one individual city, probably a small town. You can go ahead and read the article. Of course, I'll left the link down there below. This man with no name. What he did is he sexually abused a 4-year-old girl until she was about 6 or 7. A couple years. Alright, and somehow for a couple years he was able to go under the radar and get away with this. Something that honestly you just don't get away with. When this sort of thing happens in your society, and I understand it's always been happening in societies. I'm not naive. I mean, it's been happening, alright? It's been happening since forever. But when it's so rampant that little towns, mayors and stuff, get caught diddling little kids for years. And then you gotta understand, the presidential election really doesn't mean much. When you're talking about making America great again, well, you know what? This is not gonna help. This right here, he ain't gonna help. Right? I don't care if you got the Avengers as being the president. Nothing is going to help. When you're letting scoundrels like this run around. When people are being held unaccountable, when people are given all sort of power and stuff, and they just get away with it, and you know what? This one right here, he's especially important to focus on, because he's one of these so-called I came to God type people a long time ago. A man of faith is what he called himself and stuff. Alright, ain't nothing in the Bible talking about raping no little 4-year-old girls. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's stuff in Salon.com, saying by Todd Nickerson talking about, oh yeah, well, they can invite you to do it. They can be participating. They can be willing participants. And that's the exact excuse that this guy's going to use right now. He's going to say he went crazy. 4-year-old girl seduced him. And, shoot, that's her right as a human being. Alright, so that's what's taking place. And believe it or not just Hubbard, Ohio, but the town you live in, the town I live in. Alright, so if any one of us have an inkling of making America great, or somehow, getting the wrath of God off of us, it's going to have a lot to do with getting rid of this. Right? And not burying your head in the sand, not pretending like you don't see this and that and stuff. No, yeah, I see some stuff. And shoot, we got to get past that. Anyways, shoot, I'm going to mention this one guy, Colin Kaepernick. Alright, a lot of y'all probably already heard his name. I don't watch the NFL, man. I'm not interested in it at all. Alright, but of course you see him with the kneeling down and he does his protest. Here's the thing. Here's what I want to note. He calls it a protest. And it might very well be. Alright, but see, what it turns into, probably without his knowledge, is a ritual. You gotta understand. You can protest any sort of ways, but when you kneel down, believe it or not, that's a ritual that you're doing. And the reason I bring it up is because, of course, it's spreading like wildfire. Everybody's talking about black people getting it bad from the cops all the time. And so now we got to kneel down. And it's like, I saw an article. There was a small people football team, like 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. Football team in Beaumont, Texas. And, of course, they all got the dark skin there. You see the picture. Alright, so they're extremely afraid that cops are going to come shoot them in the face for no reason. Alright, You know what I'm saying? What they're doing, they call it a protest. That's what they're doing. These 10 and 11-year-olds, looked after by complete adult narcissists. But anyways, they're not protesting because you gotta understand you're on your knee. What you're doing without your knowledge probably is a religious ritual. And that's what's weird, man. That got me to noticing, and it's something to keep our eye on. We're going to talk about it more on Monday. Is that there's a cult, all right? And you know the word cult? If you ever think about the word cult, you understand that there is a legitimate God, and then there isn't, all right? There's fraudulent gods, and those are the people who believe in cults, right? Anyways, long story short, all these black fellas, all these black children, well, now what they're participating is in a cult, in cult rituals. To their God, like to their own God, right? Because they're not paying ritual to actual God, or else they would have said so. They would have said, "Hey, listen, this is for God. We're kneeling for God." No, they're kneeling in protest. Their brains are denying reality so hard that what they're doing in their hearts is a protest. When really, in reality, all you have to do is look at them to know that they're doing a religious ritual. They're paying homage, alright? And we're going to get into it more on Monday about the homage that they're paying to their God without even knowing it. And it turns out that their God happens to be white people. That's what's even more bizarre. That's what's the most bizarre. Because people have idols and stuff. People have idols, and they wind up worshiping them like their God because their idols run their life. Right? Be it drugs, like chemical drugs, or the television, or whatever else. You have drugs in your life, and if you let them take over, they're going to be your idols, and then you're going to worship them like their God. Right? These people, this cult of people, they call themselves the black people. Their God, their idol who they're worshiping is the white people, and it's really sad, and it's pathetic, and it's crazy, and it has nothing to do with reality. All right, but we're going to talk about that more on Monday. All right, so everybody get up out of here. And also leave a comment, man, what you want to hear me talk about, or, maybe if you want to talk about something, I think it's real important to the tribulation, you go ahead and holler at me, alright? Holler at me immediately. This is September the 16th, 2016.